Hello everyone and welcome back to the Vocally Annotated podcast. This episode is going to be about getting your life back on track when you've fallen off. And I'm very much speaking from experience on this because I've definitely fallen off in the last almost 2 months. I mean, part of the time I took off was because I had exams and it was an exam period, but after that I was left quite burnt out, and I'm only now recently been starting to get my life back on track, and I realised that I was doing a bunch of little things that were really working towards that, and I managed to put it all into a framework for you. The framework is based on the idea of showing yourself love through the love languages, and so there are 10 points, but they're split into phase 1 and a phase 2, and it covers each love language in both phases. Now this framework and the suggestions I have for each category are based on things that work for me. It's very much based on my experience and what works for me. Big disclaimer, this is not a bean soup friendly corner of the internet. That's the nicest way I can say it, but if it doesn't work for you, take what does work, leave what doesn't, it's fine. And in fact, if it doesn't work for you, then please, whatever platform you're listening to this on, please put your suggestions and things that work for you in the comments below so we can all learn from them. People, if someone didn't like my suggestions, they can see your suggestions in the comments. We can crowdsource new ways of feeling better and getting out of slumps, because ultimately that's the most important thing. But yes, this is my framework. The suggestions within the framework are based on what worked for me, and without further ado, let's get started. So, as I said, it's broken into 2 phases. So there's phase 1, well obviously it's phase 1 and phase 2, but phase 1 is about treating your body like a temple. And I know how that sounds, bear with me. A few years ago I went on holiday to Cyprus with my family, and we went to a few different monasteries as part of our tourism and sightseeing, and from what I learned, it's actually a common thing in Cyprus because it's also part of the Orthodox Church, so a lot of Russian tourists specifically will go there and go on a pilgrimage, I guess. But we went there to admire the monasteries, and admire we did, because they were really beautiful. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, I will try and find some pictures and put them on the screen right now to show you what I mean. But they were just so clean and well maintained. They were really beautifully decorated. There was effort and intention in every corner that you looked at. And you could tell that people really care about those monasteries. They really care about their beliefs and their value systems, as part of their religion, and they've put their time and love into that. There was a particular mandir that I went to in India, the Akshardham one, just outside of Ahmedabad. That one I also had the same kind of feeling where I was like, oh, you can tell that a lot of money went into this, but it was money that was put there for the love, for the care, for the effort. And so that's what I mean when I say to treat your body like a temple. It's about reminding yourself that you are worth that time and love and energy and care, and to do the things that make you feel that refill your cup. And it's about, phase 1 is ultimately about building momentum so that you can start to feel a bit better and take that and move into phase 2. So then once you've gone through phase 1, you can start to go into phase 2 and start actioning the things that are going to improve your life and your quality of life longer term. So phase 1 is very much immediate wins, small wins, but it's enough to get you going so that you can then move on to phase 2 and start making more adjustments and tweaks and kind of prolong the feeling from phase 1. And I've also put the love languages into order in each phase so that it flows the best and one thing builds on another. But again, if that doesn't work for you, then you can do them in whatever order, that's fine. But as long as you hit all 5 of them before you move on to the next phase. Starting with phase 1, the first love language we're going to address is gifts. Now to me, gifts in this context means doing the things for you that only you're going to appreciate. And that exactly sums up what the gifts to love language is about in phase 1. So this will be something that you've probably been putting off because you don't have the time and energy to do it, or you've been telling yourself you don't have the time and energy to do it. And so I think this is the best place to start, so you can start to build momentum, because you finally feel it's probably been a while of you feeling like you've been distracted by this and that, and you've been running around doing all these things. And so start with doing something for you, and start building the momentum by reminding yourself that you are important, you are going to make time. For me, the thing I like to do here is to do my nails. Now, they're not painted at the moment, but I personally don't need them to be painted. I just need them to be short, I need them to be shaped, and I need the like dry skin and cuticles and all that cleaned off the nail plate. So I did these a week ago, and to me this is something that I only do for me. Sometimes I will paint them, but I don't have to, is what I'm saying. But this is very much a thing I do for me, because no one else gives a crap about my nails. No one. It doesn't matter to anyone else whether my nails are too long and they get in the way of me trying to do things. It doesn't matter whether they're unevenly shaped just because they've grown out and they don't look as nice. None of it matters to anyone. That's the point. I do my nails for me. The other nice thing I find about doing my nails is that I find it a very grounding experience, because I have to pay so much attention to what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, to make sure that I don't accidentally hurt myself or do anything dumb, basically. The second love language in phase 1 is physical touch, and physical touch here refers to anything that's a very sensory experience for your body, which is why physical touch in phase 1 is all about making showering a really pleasant experience with a really nice scented body wash, scented body lotion, and then top it off with your favorite perfume that will just leave you feeling good and feeling cared for. And then when you're using your body wash, your scented body wash, if you can use something like an African net sponge to gently exfoliate your skin a bit, great, and that really gets the scent to stick into your skin. Give yourself a little massage while you're putting on your body lotion, and then top it off with perfume. You might not do any of those things. Those things might be beyond your capacity right now, and that's fine. Just using the scented body wash and just using a nice body lotion and topping it with perfume is a really great start. And it doesn't matter if you have nowhere to go. You, as far as I'm concerned, you're not leaving the house right now, because we're still in phase 1, still not feeling great, really, and you might feel resistant to leaving the house. That's fine. The point is that you're doing this for you, and you're reminding yourself that you are worthy of feeling nice, smelling nice, feeling good, feeling maintained, like the monasteries. And it absolutely doesn't matter what shower gel and body lotion, perfume you use, just find one that works in the scent family that you like. And I would also say that my suggestion here is to wash your hair, because it probably needs it. And I know sometimes that can be overwhelming to the point that it represents another hurdle in you getting your life back on track and having the shower. That's fine. If that's the case, then don't wash your hair, save it for another day, but just get back to your body feeling clean and fresh and smelling good. But I really recommend washing your hair if you can, because then it's just you're cleansing everything. Every part of you is clean top to toe, and it's just washing the energy away. I mean, right now my hair is up because I've also just washed it, but yeah, highly recommend that. So the next love language we're hitting is quality time. Quality time to me is very much about your boundaries. It's about being intentional about how you're spending your time with yourself, for yourself. In this case, quality time is about bringing fun back into your life. So doing something that you find fun. I realised, and I only realised this last week, but in the evenings when I wanted to wind down for the day, I was going for a very low level recreation. And what I mean by low level is I'd be oh, I'll watch some YouTube and then I'll go to bed. What would happen is I would feel like I needed to watch YouTube for 3 hours, and then I'd look up and it'd be 2 a.m. I wouldn't really feel rested in the sense that, oh, I got something, it recharged my battery, it refilled my cup by watching YouTube for 3 hours. And on top of that, I didn't feel rested because then I was going to bed late. And I realised I was turning to low level recreation like this because I was too tired to do the more high level recreation. But by that I mean the things that would have actually filled my cup. So for example, I really like reading. If I read for an hour, I would walk away from that feeling much more recharged, recentered, and I would have only spent an hour, so I could have actually slept at a normal time. And then I'd wake up feeling more energetic for the next day. So by not doing that, because I was tired, it just became this vicious cycle that just kept going over and over again. It was only once I realized I was in this cycle that I was able to change it. And so now what I do is I make sure that I'm reading before bed. And specifically, because I have a stack of books on my bedside table, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're all non-fiction. They're all non-fiction, and they are very interesting books. I have started reading them. I've not actually finished any of them. That was the thing. I would pick them up, be like, oh, this is really interesting, this is really well written, I'm really invested, and then I just wouldn't do it. I'd read it for like 2-3 days, and then I'd stop. And I was like, okay, why am I not reading right now? What's wrong with me? Nothing was wrong with me. I needed a break from non-fiction. So for this, if you're also doing reading as your fun thing to bring fun back into your life, go for fiction. Go for something escapist. Go for something that you know will work. In my case, I love historical fiction, period dramas, anything like that. I love romances. So what did I do? I bought the Bridgerton box set. So I'm making my way through the Bridgerton box set, and it is perfect for me. Whatever it is you decide to do, this is not about being productive. It's about fun. It's about escapism. So give yourself that. The next love language is words of affirmation. And words of affirmation comes from wearing your nice clothes. And again, to reiterate, as I said in physical touch, my intention is not for you to leave the house. But there's no reason why you can't feel good in your body by feeling good in your clothes. Don't do the nice smelling shower routine just to get back into your trackies again. Like, your trackies are very comfy, but you can also be comfy in nice put together clothes. And the importance of doing this is that it changes how you talk to yourself and how you see yourself and perceive yourself, which is why wearing nice clothes comes under words of affirmation. So like me, for example, I could have worn a t-shirt. Like, a t-shirt would be the acceptable thing to wear in this situation and whatever, but I have this one that is a knitted t-shirt, basically. Like, it's cotton, it's short sleeved. The only difference from this and a regular t-shirt is that it's knitted and it's not jersey fabric, but for all intents and purposes it functions like a t-shirt, but it just feels a bit more like, I mean, I don't want to use the word elevated, but like elevated than a t-shirt. Clothes change your mood, and this is an established thing, so we're going to work with that to change how we perceive ourselves so that our self-talk is nicer, and thereby give ourselves the words of affirmation. And it's not like you have to go out of your way to give yourself those words of affirmation, but it's just a thing that will come when you move throughout the day and you are aware, just doing regular things, and you get these subtle reminders that, like, oh, these are the clothes that are on my body, when you walk past a mirror, when you look down, and this will all leave you feeling more uplifted than if you'd gotten back into your trackies. Like, get back into your trackies at the end of the day when you're having a wind down time and you're doing a reading, whatever your fun thing is, but not right now. And the final part of phase 1 is your acts of service. The act of service here is to give yourself a small win by doing one chore. Yes, it sucks, but yes, it will also make you feel better. Make it something really easy so you can just dedicate some time, put some music on, and do it. For me, that was, in fact, clearing all the clothes off this chair that I'm sitting on. And the bonus thing is I needed to do it to be able to access my desk so that I could do my nails. So in my particular case, by doing my nails and fulfilling the gifts love language, I also had to do the acts of service one and clear the space for me to be able to do that. But that's what I mean, like, putting away clothes is really easy. It's daunting. It's not something I really like doing, but it's not difficult. There's no real thought that goes into it. It's just pick things up, put it on a hanger, put it away, right? And so that's what I mean. Find something that is really easy and doable and gives you that small win. Just do one thing. And the reason why you're doing it at the end of phase 1, or the reason why I put it here, is because it's definitely not the thing that I want to be doing at the beginning of phase 1. But once I've kind of started building that momentum, then it's something I can think about to really round out and complete phase 1. And so now we've completed phase 1, we've built up a little bit of momentum. Phase 2 is about taking that momentum that we've built and making some small tweaks and adjustments to keep that momentum going. And here, the first love language is actually acts of service. And this time, acts of service is about addressing your pain points and dealing with whatever's bothering you that is within your control. For example, is the sun starting to come out because it's summer and you want to wear skirts, but you feel insecure about having body hair? Buy a razor or buy an epilator. If your skin is a mess, and like it could be really spotty, or it could be really dry, or whatever issues are going on that's making you feel physically and like emotionally uncomfortable, get back on your skincare routine game. Stick with the products that you know work for you, and just slowly start to build that back up to get your skin back on track. I find at this point, once I've built up a bit of momentum and I have a bit more energy, the things that are really bothering me stick out to me so much like a sore thumb, and I can't ignore it anymore, because And I guess I feel like I'm just coming out of a sucky period, and if I'm going to come out of a sucky period, I don't want to come back to this problem that keeps bothering me. Does that make sense? Like, I'm feeling better now, and I don't want to deal with this again. So don't deal with it again. Again, whatever's within your control and that you can actively do something about it. Again, I would start with one. Like, pick one thing that is really bothering you and work on that, and then you can come back to the other things later once you keep building momentum. The second love language in phase 2 is physical touch. And again, physical touch in this case is about your sensory experience of being in your body. In this case, that means making sure you're eating 3 square meals. You kind of have to parent yourself a bit to get back on track with eating 3 proper meals, and for me, I find it kind of hard, which is why I've put it in phase 2. It's something I have to build up to, and it goes hand in hand with sleep, which I will come on to in a second, but it's all about nourishing your body and building your base back up so that you have the energy to take on all the other things you want to do. And ideally, you want to have 3 healthy, nutrient-dense meals that leave you feeling satiated and, again, comfortable in your body, in the sensory experience of your body. It can be kind of hard if you have fallen off track, if you've been burnt out and you're a bit disconnected from that, but try and really pay attention to what makes you feel good when you eat it and focus on those things. It's also really handy to have some like default options that you can go back to. So for me, my example, like my default meal in this case would be eggs on toast, because I know it's quick to make, it's really easy to make, there's minimum washing up, and it always just leaves me feeling good. Like, I just feel good and healthy. So the more you can simplify your meal and make it easier for you to do and therefore more sustainable, the better. So if you haven't already identified some meals like that, try and find some now. Now we're coming on to quality time, and as a refresher, quality time is about setting the boundaries for yourself so that you have space and can just have quality time with yourself, I would have thought. But in this case, it means getting your morning and evening routines in check. Dr. Mike Israetel, I believe is how you pronounce his surname, has a really good, simple morning routine video, and I really liked it, so I will leave that linked in the show notes. He talks about going for like a 10 to 15 minute morning walk, and I've started implementing that, and I really enjoy it, and I find it makes a really big difference in how I go about the rest of my day feeling. I don't feel as sluggish, I don't feel as like lethargic when I do that. I mean, that plus other things as well, but that is definitely like a really big thing that's fairly easy to implement for everyone. So I highly recommend watching that video and taking his suggestions for the morning routine. For the evening, for me, getting my sleep back on track is the biggest thing here, and I talked about this in phase 1, and how I'm like cutting out devices after dinner so that I can actually do the things that fill my cup and wind down properly for the evening, and developing a more, not structured in a bad way, but just like giving myself a bit more clarity on what I want my evening routine to look like. For me, it looks like reading, it looks like doing my skincare, but doing it early enough in the evening that I can really take the time to massage in the cleansing oil and really just indulge in the moment. I can apply my serums and stuff and just feel the soothing like hydration on my skin, and I can enjoy it. It's things like that. So just whatever works for you, but get your morning routine in check and your evening routine in check. So now we come on to gifts, which is the 4th love language in phase 2, and this is all about getting movement in. So I touched on this just now when I was talking about the Dr. Mike morning routine and going for the walks. That's an easy way to start getting some gentle movement in. I started by getting walks in with my dog, and I think that's definitely a great starting point to get you out and get you again moving in a very gentle way. I think it's not I think it's a good starting point. I don't think it's a long-term strategy in this particular case, because when I walk my dog, I feel very much like the walk becomes about her and it's not about me anymore, and the whole point of gifts is doing the things for you that no one else cares about, no one else can do for you, that you can do for you. So yeah, using my dog as an impetus to start getting outside was great, but it's not a thing that I want to integrate long term. Like, I'd rather do my 10 to 15 minute walk in the morning and then walk her maybe a bit later in the day. But it was a really nice way to start, because it was like I had company on my walks, and it was a really easy way to ease into movement, which then gave me the momentum to be like, hey, I really miss working out and my body is craving that right now. I'm also starting gently with that and easing myself in by lowering the weight and giving myself longer rest times. And I'm not mad about it, because the main thing is I'm working out again. I'm like getting back on the hamster wheel, and once that flywheel starts, it will just keep moving. I know I've just talked about 2 different types of wheels, but it's fine. And finally, words of affirmation. It's time to do a content audit. Go through all of your social media feeds and get rid of anything that doesn't get you closer to where you want to be. That includes unfollowing people who make you feel bad about yourself. That includes unfollowing people you hate follow. That includes unfollowing anyone you don't hate follow, but like you don't particularly like them anymore, you don't talk to them anymore, but you're following them to be nosy and keep an eye on their lives. Unfollow all these people and whoever else, but like anyone that doesn't inspire good self-talk. That's ultimately the point here. The point is we're controlling the words of affirmation we give ourselves by controlling what we're consuming and how we're reacting to that. And look, if that means you unfollow a friend or a family member for a bit, it's fine. Do what you need to do. Prioritize yourself here. That is the whole point of these whole shenanigans. But people shouldn't mind, and if they do, I think they've got problems, not you. Like, the problem is not with you, babe. Just do what you need to do. Unfollow who you need to unfollow. This whole process has been about prioritizing you, so don't stop here. And that brings us to the end of the video. I hope this was helpful. Please do let me know if you have other suggestions for ways to address your love languages. Leave them in the comments below on whatever platform you're listening to this on, and I hope this inspires you to take care of yourself. So thank you very much for listening, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!